I was never scared of heights until I had kids. And now that it's Christmas time and I got to put lights on the roof, I don't take any chances. But I have figured out some things over the years that make it so much easier and safer. I'm going to tell you a few of those things. Well, first off, when I had this house built, I had the roofers put some anchor points up there. You can maybe kind of see that. There's one there, 2, 3, 4 in total. So that way when I get up on the roof, I might look like a moron, a goober, a weirdo, whatever you want to call me. But I am harnessed in. Got just a simple Guardian fall harness and a rope that goes with it, so I can keep myself tethered down the entire time I'm up there. This hook here will go onto the hook on the roof, this one on the back of the harness, and I make sure I am safe up there at all times. Last year, I bought these, I don't know what they're called. They're some sort of roofing short. I don't know. Whatever they are awesome. It's like sticking like glue to the shingles when you've got these on. So between the rope and the shorts, I am not going anywhere. This year, I made sure I had some better footwear on though. I've got my New Balance. I guess they're walking shoes. I don't know. But they're not running shoes, so they don't have a high arch. They're very flat, more smooth, not real thick tread on them. So I get really good shoe to shingle contact, you could say. The more surface area that's intact with the shingles, the better grip you're going to have as you're moving around up there. The right pair of shoes, the right clothes, anchor points if you can do it with a harness and rope. I'm telling you, that was, oh gosh, I messed with my mic here. Sorry about that. That was probably one of the best decisions I made when we had this house built. But I finished it all up today. It took me, by the time I got up there, checked the lights, make sure everything was working beforehand, got everything set, ran my extension cord. It probably took me 4 or 5 hours. I'm telling you folks, I do not get in a rush. But there are some things you can do ahead of time that will make your life and the process a whole lot simpler. First, check and make sure your lights are completely working before you set a single clip on your gutter or shingles. These clips have been on these lights now. I don't take them off at the end of the year. I just keep them on there. That way they're ready to go for the next season. Now some of them are going to break. They start getting brittle over time. Pro tip, keep some backups handy. There's a whole bunch of good new clips there. There's the old ones that broke as I was putting things up on the roof. So I'm always prepared. Once I get up, I don't come down until I am completely finished with them all. Make sure your shingles are good to go. Have a plan for where you're going to start your extension cord and then how you're going to run your strands of lights. I don't want to have any excess lights when I get done. I want to have 2 nice clean runs so there's a stopping point. And for me, the stopping point happens to be on both sides of the house. So I've run my extension cord for all the roofline lights. Comes from there in the front of the house, zip tied to the gutter, all the way up to the top. You can see it running up those shingles right there. And that's how I can start 2 runs and have them both finish on the sides of the house. You can tell one is plugged in right there. That one goes zoop, zoop down over the top of the garages down that other side of the house. Then that other one starts at the top of that peak here, over that, down, and then right down there. I'm telling you folks, a little planning of these things out before you do anything will make this a much easier, safer process. And sometimes you have to plan the year before. This year, gosh, this process was so much quicker and efficient than it was last year. Last year, I just put all the clips on these lights, and when you make turns and you go up and over peaks and gutters and in different directions, sometimes you have to flip the clips around on the lights. Well, I didn't want to do that again this year like I did last year. So when I took these down last year, I made sure I numbered each strand with a Sharpie. That way I knew which strand went up first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. And I'm telling you, the lights pretty much lined up exactly where they were last year. Aside from having to replace some clips that broke, I didn't have to flip any of the clips around. So that was strand number 1, began right there. Strand 1 came up over that peak and stopped, and then I began strand 2, 2 to there, 3 over there, and then came back over here and hit strand 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way around that way. Huge, huge time saver. Really, the worst part for me is getting up the ladder. And once I'm up there, I'm doing okay. And then until it's time to come down the ladder, and then that's when it kind of gets a little sketchy again. I forgot to tell you, before you even go up the ladder, make sure you clip all of your lights to the gutter. I had all 7 lights clipped right there, just hanging down. That way when I was ready for them, I'd come over, grab the light strand, take it to where I knew it was going to be, grab another one, take it over. So I had all 7 strands of lights kind of dispersed across the roof. So much easier than coming up and down the ladder over and over to get another strand. And don't forget, on your very peaks, make sure your light bulb lines right up at the very tippy top. Gosh, that makes such a huge difference. Back to where we were. But we made it up, we made it down, lights are up. That's kind of the worst part of the holiday decorating season. You know, they call this the most wonderful time of the year. If you ask me, it's the most dangerous time of the year. So huge relief that that is done. It is a 70-degree day here in Northwest Arkansas. Sun is shining. Kids are everywhere today. We finally had a lot of rain. Grass is actually trying to green back up. It's been pretty warm and wet. So that little early dormancy from the drought and some freezes is kind of being reversed right now. But it ain't going to get much further than that. The season just says no. So if you're wondering what size light you should use, these are LED C9 lights. I prefer the C9 lights, especially on the roof line. Now, if you're really close to the street, if you have a smaller home, perhaps maybe a C7 would be better. But if you ask me, go big or go home, I pretty much put C9 lights everywhere. Now, I will use a combination of other lights, like some mini white, some mini multicolor, some mini red and green. But for the most part, if I can get my hands on some C9 lights, those are the ones I'm going to use. Now that everything's up on the roof, we're going to start with everything in the lawn and flower beds. Since I don't have all the mulch space planted yet, there's really nothing to put lights on. So I'm kind of having to make things up as I go until all of those are filled in with vegetation. So I'll probably do things a little bit different than I did last year, but kind of keep the same theme and overall look. And we'll start that probably maybe next weekend. So as I do some of those things, I'll come at you with some other videos with some really simple tips and tricks, like how to put your lights around your garages and around your windows, and to make some simple, easy, do-it-yourself, inexpensive light trees in your lawn. There are a lot of ways you can do this on a budget. Now, the key to that is you got to make sure you get lights a year ahead of time. Some of the C9s I've got this year, I didn't use them last year. I bought them the day or two after Christmas. I think I ended up getting $300 worth of lights for just under $100. So again, starting with putting them up, taking down's the easiest part, but in buying them, you got to think ahead. The more you think ahead, the more time you'll save, the safer you'll be, and it'll be better on the pocketbook. Trust me. All right, my friends, that's going to do it for this episode of Budget Lawns. I appreciate you joining me as always. If you want more holiday content and you like this kind of stuff, give me a thumbs up, comment down below. Let me know you want more of it, and tell YouTube that, hey, show me this stuff. We like this. People care. I care about you. We'll see you next time.